Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new all of the above budget movie review. And this time it's time for another horror series. And it's for the smallest people. And I don't mean kids, okay? It's called Leprechaun. Um, Leprechaun is a nice series with mostly Warwick Davis, who plays the titular character, the Leprechaun. The first movie is with a starring role by Jennifer Aniston. I think it's one of her first movies, and it's a nice straight up horror movie about a leprechaun who wants to find his pot of gold, of course, and terrorizes the people there. And it's fun. It's exciting. It has some good horror. It has some good scares. It has some good effects. And yeah, yeah. I just want to say it's good. Then came Leprechaun Part Two, and that's all about Leprechaun trying to find his bride. Um, Now it seems it's an other leprechaun than in the first movie because he acts totally different than the first one, and his backstory is different. But it's scary, and I loved the scene with the lawnmower. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's for me the first time I watched this I was a teenager, and you know how teenagers are, hormones. That scene brought up the best in me. Um, but it's a fun movie. It's a good horror. It's a good sequel, and I liked it. So uh, then followed part three, and that's Leprechaun 3, Leprechaun in Las Vegas. And it's all about this guy who has a horror play a van where he takes horror tours together with his drunk partner, who he has to sober up most of the time. And it also has the same humor and the same action and the same scares, like the first one. It's just, I think the gas was a bit out of the tank. It missed, for me personally, it missed the conviction of the first two. It was more like we're going to try to do it again, so here it is. And so that was a third one. And although what I said, it is a good one, but it's not the best of three. Okay. And then it got worse because then the Leprechaun Part 4 went where other franchises always go to die, to space. And it has some good actors, it has some good acting. It's also stars Warwick Davis again, of course, but it all plays in space, and it has the guy from Allo Allo, Mr. Gruber, who plays some kind of weird, strange thing. Um, so it's less about the leprechaun and more about the people in the space station. And yeah, it's not my favorite. I have the series and I will rewatch it, and I will rewatch it part for part. Um, and then came two, and those are back to back almost. The first one, Leprechaun in the Hood. It's a funny take on what the leprechaun does when he's in a suburban neighborhood or an urban neighborhood, yeah, with wannabe rappers and Ice T as a big music producer who robbed him, and It has a lot of tropes. It has a lot of yeah, character. It puts characters in a position that you think, oh yeah, that's that kind of character. Um, yeah, so it was. Thought it was a weak one where it also played more about the people in the hood than of the Leprechaun because he had a small part in there. Um, then we had Leprechaun Back to the Hood, and that's the second one, and it's even worse than the first one. I don't want to spoil too much, but no, Leprechaun trying to rap, he can better kill you right away. Then came a movie called Leprechaun Origins, but I'm still not out if that's a real sequel or if it's a movie that just has the title Leprechaun in them because the beast in the series play doesn't even compare or look like the Leprechaun, and it's just like one big scary monster, and it's a totally different movie. So in my mind, it's not in this franchise. It's just another kind of movie that has the title Leprechaun in it, so it could sell more movies. Um, so I don't have it in my collection too, so I can't show it to you. And just forget about that one. There is a reboot, and that's Leprechaun Returns. That's this one. It's the first one where Warwick Davis doesn't play the Leprechaun, and it's played by a new actor whose name slips my mind at the moment, but I'll put it down here if I can find it. And it's a nice reboot. It has a bit of the same feels as the first one. It has a callback to the first one. It literally has one known character coming back from the first one. So yeah, it's literally in the franchise. So I'd say this one is literally a sequel to the in Back to the Hood, but it's more like a direct sequel. So many years later to part one. So that's what I have to say about the Leprechaun. That leads me to say thank you for watching. If you want to like, please like. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. And just thank you for watching. See you next time.